Okay, I guess I'm live. How's everyone doing? The 11th of January. Wow. It's another beautiful day in God's paradise. And we're here to talk about whatever you want to talk about, right? And I see that George is here and Michael's here. And it's a beautiful day in paradise. And I thank everyone for stopping in for the hour of superpower. And I'm grateful to everyone. Like, you guys hear Kiltz okay? And I put a link to the live if I could get George or Mike or Papa or our great Rick out there. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate everyone. Good morning. I've been out in the pottery studio making some Kiltz cups this morning. I loaded the kiln with glazing pottery, and I started just throwing. I was going to go down and visit my grandson Julio, but I think I'm just going to hang out in upstate New York today and throw some pottery. And Rick, how you doing today? Isabel Goyer, how are you doing? Montreal, Quebec, Canada. If anyone here wants to join me for the live for whatever, you're free to join in. Appreciate everyone. SMOV, Indiana, nice. Is there an echo in the room? Let's see. Or is it just me? Or is it the room, the space? Let me know if you guys, it's good or bad. Latest video from Chris McCaskill, the plant chopper, trashing the new food guidelines, saying beef ages you. Oh, beef is bad, really bad. They're on the mission to tell you not to eat the meat. And Rick, we know the truth. Eat the iguanas, right? That's it. I haven't seen it yet. I will take a look at it. Remember, this is entertainment. This is not medical advice or science advice. Right on, steadfast. And to my peeps around the globe, Kiltz here, just saying thank you for stopping in for the hour of superpower. I'm actually going to load. I'm going to get this. Let me see if it came in. I've been doing some really fun stuff with AI and Speechify. And let me see if I got the link that I can share with you guys. Gals, human beings around the globe. Doesn't work. Let's see if it's going to find today. Got to go to the other app, the classic app. We'll see what this does. We got George.
Yeah, Dr. Kiltz, you can always rely on me to come and keep you company when you call for company. So here I am, and we'll have some fun as usual. I expect we'll get somebody else, but for me for the moment.
All right. Hold on a second. I need to do to get my computer sort of just cut down on me recently today. It just like shut down. There we go. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can do now. Yeah, when you froze for a little while, but you're fine now, Dr. Kiltz. So yeah, no worries.
Oh, there we go. Hold on. I got on my headset. Well, I froze the day I was born. So what do you think about this new upside down pyramid that just came out in the United States? What are you hearing? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, my thoughts on it is I looked at it and I thought, well, that's great because obviously red meat is at the top of the pyramid, which is where it's supposed to be. But I haven't really had a chance to read it all properly as yet. But I did an hour with DC yesterday over in Australia, and he's actually read it, and he says that nothing has really changed. That they're still it's still not in our favor really. That they're still spouting the same old stuff. So only the picture has actually changed. So I don't know what everybody else thinks about it, but I haven't had a chance to read it as yet. So that's my take on it, Dr. Kiltz. But DC's not happy, and we know DC. We trust DC.
Yeah. I mean, my sense, again, they put saturated fat in there, animal fat. I should say animal fat. I didn't even like the word saturated fat. I don't even know what it means. Maybe Rick could highlight what saturated fat is like versus unsaturated fat. That seems like scientism to me.
More or less. It's just where the hydrogen is in the fat molecule. That's it.
But does a lion know where the hydrogen atom is? Molecule?
I doubt it.
Is bonds?
Yeah, I mean,
Doesn't
one of
really
the problems with the
right?
with the sea doors when they came in, that they had to be hydrogenized in order to be stabilized, and apparently hydrogenation was a major problem for the human, for the human body. They're not hydrogenized anymore, but they're still poisonous. So that's the thing. I think they're a chain. They're polyunsaturated versus saturated, so they're much less stable, and they're liquid at room temperature, whereas monounsaturated. No, that's olive oil and coconut oil. But saturated fats are stable at room temperature, so that's the big difference.
Well, couldn't we just say plant oils and animal fats? And that's the simplest sort of definition and discussion of what is really out there, because no other animal on a microscopic or molecular level even cares about that stuff or even knows about it. And I still question the hard science as we've been taught, right? And maybe we can. Lena Furman, thank you, Lena. Where are you from? And thanks, sir. And I appreciate everyone's thumbs up and subscribe and share and all those things. But what's a triglyceride?
It's a type of fat.
Shall we throw it out there? Is it an animal fat or is it a plant oil?
It's found in animals.
It's created by the liver, is it not? So it must be our fat. We actually create them, and they are delivered by LDL, low density lipoprotein, around the body. So yeah, it's an animal fat created by the liver. And I know, all I can tell you is that I had very high triglycerides back in March 22, and that was considered to be dangerous. Whereas now my triglycerides are low to normal, so that is a good thing apparently. So that's my take on it.
But isn't it also possible that what we think and believe about what these things are just keep on sort of pushing us away from the simplicity of the lions being a lion?
Absolutely.
And, it's like, well, but what about your cholesterol and your triglycerides? Like, Rick, when was the last time you looked at yours and thought, oh my God?
1996 was the last time I had a blood test.
And what'd you do about it?
I stopped going to the doctor because my obese doctor told me that I would have heart disease by age 55.
And you are how young now?
57.
57. And so I guess the question is heart disease and diseases in general. Oh, and death in general. Does anyone know at birth when they're going to die and what they're going to die of?
Nope.
I think the modern medical system is really good at kind of giving us some number or something, and that you're going to get these diseases, because in general, the advice they give us pretty much guarantees we're going to get some of the problems they tell us. What is the prophecy? The perfect prophecy of
self-fulfilling prophecy?
Yeah.
Self-fulfilling prophecy, right? They're kind of right, but I don't know how accurate they are, because I guess the question is, how much money would you put on that prediction?
Nothing. There is no prediction.
There isn't, right? And what in modern medicine have we been able to really figure out in all of this? And George, are 98 over 58. And that's okay. Let me ask you something, Rick. Do you do that for entertainment, or if you get a number that isn't this number they say it is, like, what do you think at that moment? Do you rush out to the emergency room?
Of course not. As long as I feel good and I'm able to do what I need to do, I'm not going to worry about it. It's just fun for me. That's why I call it the heart attack diet. So people tell me, well, you're going to get a heart attack. All that animal fat is now all that meat's going to give you cancer and heart disease. Okay, let's look at the blood pressure.
Yeah. So you need to test it, and everyone should have all this home testing. George, what home testing do you do all the time?
None, to be perfectly honest. I basically, the only thing I measure is my weight, because I've always been a bit obsessed with that, my waistline and how I feel. I mean, but let's take it back to the week before we started the first cohort of the coaching course, Dr. Kiltz. One of the things that we had to read was you talking about Occam's razor and keeping it simple. So we have overcomplicated our health very badly. And what is the result of that? Lots of unnecessary anxiety. And basically the human health is a train wreck at the moment. We are in the worst state now than we ever were, thanks to all the science and this new word which you've introduced to me. It's not a new word, but scientism. Basically, it is the science is wrong. It's bought and paid for, and it is causing more problems than it's worth. Now, as a matter of interest, I actually sent you about 2 days ago. Our great friend Barbara wrote a new song, and it was about the stories and how the stories are more important than the science. Now, she wrongly dedicated it to me because it was me that told her about the importance of the stories versus the science. But I actually did send it to you this morning. You haven't had a chance to pick it up yet, and I have actually told the world that yes.
Did you email it to me, or how'd you send it?
No, I WhatsApped it. I WhatsApped it to you.
Oh,
yeah. So
okay.
it's on your WhatsApp, but basically, I very much appreciate it. It was me that passed on the information to Barbara about the stories being the way that we change the world. But she actually was inspired by me. But of course, you were my inspiration because it's you who likes to say it's the stories. It's the stories, not the science, that is going to change the world. So yeah, it's a fabulous song though. She only did it a day ago, and I've sent it to you. I don't know whether you can find it, but
well, I found it, but now I got to upload it. Well, let me see here. Hold on a second. If I do this. Hold on.
Yeah, I found it. It's cool.
I got to eliminate my Bluetooth.
Yeah, the full title is Human Stories, not the science, the stories. That's the full title of the song.
Let's see. Can you hear it?
Oh, no,
not really. To be honest with you, Dr. Kiltz, we need a Lewis in the chat, really, don't we?
Well, I
don't know whether Lewis is with us.
here we go.
So, can you hear it now?
Yeah.
Lost in a sea of hurting, quiet cries beneath the noise, not needing more explanations. We need to hear human voice, because when the heart beats,
we're not really getting it clearly, Dr. Kiltz.
Okay.
So yeah,
I don't know if you can put it in the chat, but I've got to send it out there.
I'll see.
I don't know how either.
No, I'm not 100% sure how to do it either. Lewis, are you with us? Let's see if I can. See if I'll try to. Lewis, are you with us? No, obviously.
Yeah,
not.
we'll get it. We'll share it this week one way or another. But I'm actually, I've been working on my Speechify podcasts and using my voice and sharing some new books and ideas that I'm building. And now I got to start writing songs and creating songs using my voice. I got to learn how to do that from Barbara. This stuff is so much fun and energy and creativity. So, that's the beauty of all of this. But we're really new into creating and sharing these stories in the world. So we have a lot of work to do every day in order to keep just sharing the stories that people will pick up, like you guys, right?
Not too many people want to listen.
Well, they actually, well, they do, but they're so drugged up by the dangerous dictatorial diatribe that their brains just like they block it out, right? And so the more we keep on sharing the story, right? That's the important part. That we keep on sharing and keep on being here, even if they try to put us down and say meat is still the cause of cancer and heart disease.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it makes you age faster. That's the latest thing they've been talking about. Meat causes aging, accelerated aging. And I say, well, have you looked at me?
Or Kiltz, right? 70 in March 12th.
Well, that's it. That's that goofy
everyone's
guy
welcome
plant
to the party.
chompers. Yeah, look at Dr. Kiltz compared to the vegans the same age.
And again, I'm not putting down. Everyone could choose the diet they want to be on, and I usually say don't do carnivore because it's dangerous to others, and it may be dangerous to your own life because you're going to be right.
You're going to be doing a lot more, so you may have an accident because you're so much more active.
Well, that's. I mean, I fly planes, I drive cars, and I live with another human being.
There you go.
So I'm at high risk of something bad happening. But in fact, there's nothing bad in life. It's all part of the journey, is it not? Right, George?
Yep.
I mean, you're putting yourself out there, both you guys, and sharing these stories. And we need support every day. Go ahead.
Right, Dr. Kiltz. Do you remember Larry, my friend Larry, the carnivore soldier?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to read. He posted something on Facebook the other day. He's no longer really on YouTube or anything, but he did this fabulous fact about risk. Okay, it's going to take 2 minutes, but bear with me.
Okay.
Right. To laugh is to risk appearing sentimental. To reach out to another is to risk involvement. To expose feelings is to risk exposing your true self. To place your ideas and dreams before a crowd is to risk their loss. To love is to risk not being loved in return. To live is to risk dying. To hope is to risk despair. To try is to risk failure. But risks must be taken because the greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, has nothing, is nothing. He may avoid suffering and sorrow, but he cannot learn, feel, change, grow, or live. Chained by his servitude, he is a slave who has forfeited all freedoms. Only a person who risks is free. And that was accredited to Leo Buscaglia. So, yeah, I think that basically captures everything that we want to say, doesn't it, Dr. Kiltz?
I love Leo Buscaglia. I used to listen to him and read his books 50 years ago. And another true hero of our lives. But we're here to risk dying. And this idea that I got to do everything I can to live longer, which is like BS. I mean, the greatest of the greats did not strive to live longer. They just strove to live life.
Exactly.
And that's the beauty of everyone here. Bevy, Carnivore Muscle, Lance, North Dakota Carnivore, and Jason, and everyone here that is just simply saying, you know what? Oh, we've got 74 people here. Well, why don't we have 10 million? Because this is lions' work, and lions are not the masses. They're the masters, and that's just not. I'm not here to do anything for anything else other than to I guess roar. Maybe someone hears the roar, maybe they don't, doesn't matter, right? And
well, exactly. I mean, in that it says, I'll say it again, chained by his servitude, he is a slave who has forfeited all freedom. And the slaves are the people who listen to the establishment, who want everything done for them. Now you, as you say, they're the sheep versus the lions. We as lions realize that nobody is coming to save us. We cannot put our faith in the establishment because it has let us down very badly. Therefore, we have to make our own decisions in life. We are the lions. We take the risks. I took a massive risk when I decided to go carnivore because it went against everything I had ever been taught about nutrition. But I knew I had to take that risk because otherwise I was going to die anyway. But there are many, many thousands, hundreds of thousands of people like myself who have got type 2 diabetes who are not prepared to take that risk because their doctor tells them not to. I took the risk. I got the reward for taking that risk. And that reward is losing 120 pounds in weight and being cured of type 2 diabetes. And the fear that I had has now gone. It is freedom. It is freedom.
Well, and I could tell you the same thing. I mean, I learned through suffering, and I suffer even still today as a carnivore lifestyle liver. And you know, Christ in all things, and having some faith in a power that we've created or shared or discovered. I don't know what it is, but you know, this lifestyle is quite amazing. And I still live in the universe, by the way. I'm not gone from any place. I live everywhere. But that's what we're doing. Then this is the beauty. Rick, you're down in Florida, and George, you're in England, and here I am.
Yes.
And right now I'm in my basement in Skinny Atlas, New York. I've learned through suffering, immense suffering. And we're here in a sense to go through the suffering. I mean, you know, it's where the storytelling is really, really amazing. And Leo Buscaglia and Eckhart Tolle and Deepak Chopra, but Marcus Aurelius and Neville Goddard and Jesus Christ and all the philosophers of humanity today, yesterday, and you know, tomorrow. That's what we're really growing on, more than anything. And you know, it's like you didn't trust someone until you traveled with them a little bit. Was that right, George and Rick? You know, meaning you had to do something in order to learn a new way. You had to fail a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was on with Barbara this morning. I was on live with Barbara this morning, and we were talking, and we were saying that, you know, that we've all been through pain and suffering, but we were trying to work out why the community is so strong, why we all love each other so much. And it's very much like me being a war veteran, because when you shared the experience of war, you become very close to somebody. All of us have shared pain and suffering in order to get here. So we have that same bond. We've all shared in the pain and the suffering. Therefore, we all have something in common. So we all can talk about, we can understand each other. Because the problem that I have is with a lot of my friends from the local, they don't understand what it's like to be scared for your life, to have a really strong why, because they're still basically metabolically healthy. They don't realize it, but they're probably heading down towards the route of metabolic unhealth, but they don't think it applies to them. Whereas we all know from very hard, bitter experience, with the honorable exception of Rick, that we've got here because we suffered. Rick got here because he was suffering, but he was suffering at school. Oh, hello, Mitch. So yeah, it's we all got here through suffering, and we all share that. We all share that pain, and we want to share the love, and we want to share it with our friends. Most of them won't listen, but maybe one or two will. Hello, Mitch.
Mitch is in the house.
Kiltz, how are you? Rick,
Mitch.
Long time no see.
The grumpy quads are here today in the house. You know, it's sort of like
the old codgers and Rick. Rick,
Close to reality.
Rick,
let's face it, we Dr. Kiltz, we probably have four of the biggest rebels in the carnival world on the same screen together, don't we?
I think so.
And I know Mitch highly agrees with the new pyramid. I don't know if it's a pyramid. It's like an arrow now, right?
Yeah.
And it's like an arrow up, you know, it's trying to pierce our hearts. And the governments of the world, and Grunkle Bob, finally, carnivore, awesome and amazing, by the way. And thanks for stopping in, everyone. And just, you know, a shout out where you're at, what your thoughts on all this craziness is. And maybe Mitch could chime in. First time on with us and sharing the story around the globe. What are your thoughts and opinions about this new governmental nutritional opinion?
Oh, wow. I have another video coming out today. It seems to be the topic on everybody's mind right now. And on balance, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I think you got to stop putting those things up over my pretty face, though. You know, Uh, well, okay.
Yes, what places get as well.
There you go. Yeah, now you're going to cover up George. Oh,
That's okay. I've said my piece today, Mitch. You carry on. You've got the floor.
My thoughts range
Your
from
thoughts, Mitch.
wildly optimistic on certain points and wildly pessimistic on many others. I think the overall effect of all of this is going to be very, very little perceptible change in the actual health outcomes. I don't think doctors are going to change the way they practice medicine. I don't think people that are addicted to the foods that are unhealthy are going to stop eating them, and they're going to look for all the propaganda and anything that supports what they want to believe. On the other hand, I think the biggest benefit to people who are at least on the way and believe that it's not the meat, stupid, it's it's the grains and the plants and the ultra processed foods, even though the settled science now knows, like everybody knows, that it is the fat that's responsible, the saturated fat that's responsible for all of the heart disease and diabetes, and red meat causes all the pseudoscience. Stop disrupting me, Rick. Please, every time I'm talking, Rick is doing something over there. But I'm used to that, and I love Rick. I love him. But it disrupts me when I see all that motion coming from you. It always does. Sorry about that. Rick and I are good friends. We're good friends. He doesn't hesitate to tell me the truth, and I don't hesitate either. And I think that's a basis.
Yeah, just jump in here. I suddenly realised I'm sat in the middle of the Florida Mafia, the Florida Carnival Mafia here, aren't I? Because I think you were a Mafia today. You were in Florida.
Well, I do. I'm technically a Floridian, by the way. I have my residency there now, even though I go back and forth between New York and the IRS is probably, or the New York State Tax Department's probably going to use this video one day. Say, Kiltz, I know you were in New York. You even said it that day. And I'm leaving back for Florida. All I need to do is be out of New York for so many days to get a little bit of boost.
You qualify there. Well, let me finish my last little opinion here. Because I could talk for days on anything, especially this. You know that, don't you? The one good thing I was about to say that comes from this is that for those of us who are giving it a shot, and which most of whom fail over time, most people who start these things drop out of it because the too many factors against it, and their doctor scares them and everything. For those people, this is validation from other than another carnivore or keto YouTuber that red meat and saturated fats are not killing you. It has been taken out of the dogma of what is dictated by the federal government for the hospitals and the military and the school kids. Now, whether any of that's going to change, we'll see. But I'm looking forward to my doctor's appointment this Thursday. And I'm going to throw this right in her face because I'm so sick and tired of the advice coming out of the professionals in the medical community. And I think that those of us in this community who are fighting the fight and been ranting about this for years, like all of us here have, this is a validation that we're not crazy and we're not stupid, and we ought to throw it in the quote professional's face every chance that we get. So I would urge any of you out there, the next time you go to your doctor, take a copy of the food pyramid with you and the new recommendations, And the only thing you'll find that they will hang their hats on to try to keep the status quo is that 10% limitation on saturated fat, which I think was a concession to all the corrupt people who finance pretty much the status quo. So that's my opinion in a nutshell.
So I'm always confused when we use the word carbohydrates. And I still go back to Occam's razor simplicity. You either eat animals or plants. No animal eats some macro. And we've made the macro science and microscience, which has gotten us in this misery. The courses we were sort of taking, including the health classes and exercise classes, which basically, taught us, or I'm not sure the word taught is the right word, brainwashed us to this is the way of the dictators of the world, and that's what we're living. And we have to break free to, I hang out with those that have misery and fault and have fallen in this world, like Jesus Christ's, band of the world. And that's where I always go to, the guy who was crucified for claiming one thing and the misery. And I know Mitch loves me to talk about this stuff.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. I'll substitute another human being named Tim Noakes.
Absolutely. But he admitted the flaws, because science, in truth, spirituality pretty much has its solid story. It's not changing, right? We're just all trying to figure out what it means. But science is always changing. And so they say it's right today, and then it's somehow it's wrong tomorrow. How can that be?
Yeah. Is coffee good for us today or bad for us again?
I'm drinking coffee today, by the way.
I did too. But I always tell people, if you don't like the advice, wait a minute, it'll change.
And last week I smoked a cigar.
Oh boy, and I'm telling you what, man, I meant what I said to you. I'm coming down to your deal, and I'm going to stay at your house. And I said the only way I'll come is if you'll sit down and smoke a cigar with me.
And so really what we're all doing is sharing our stories, and my good friend Zane Griggs, thank you, who was an animal, was really suggesting that animal-based is good, but not only animals is necessary, where, it's kind of, and I don't know where I was going with, he only tried carnivore for 2 weeks. Is that enough to really give anything a change in life? I tried Jesus Christ for 2 weeks and I gave up on it, right? And by the way, he's the most famous Jew ever created.
I'm trying hard, but I don't think I'll catch up.
Dr. Kiltz, I have 4 pillars of carnivore, and the first one is a strong why. Now, Zane to me looks like a fairly a good specimen of humanity. Therefore, he does not have a strong why as to go carnivore. Look at my wife, Lainey. She's a cancer sufferer. She has a very strong why, because she's at risk of death. When I went with type 2 diabetes and morbid obesity, I just lost 2 of my good friends to heart attacks. I knew I was next. I had a very strong why. Look at Rebecca Johnson, multiple sclerosis, in a wheelchair. Very strong why.
Yeah.
Somebody who's very fit. We got very good friends over here who are young and fit, and they don't get it because they do not yet have that why, because they are getting away with it, and that is the problem. It's most people, you either come to it through desperation or through inspiration. Most of us come to it through desperation. Very few come to it through inspiration. There are 1 or 2 people out there, such as the young Norwegian Jonathan Johannesson, the guy who got knocked over in Tampa Bay, Edward Gurkey, I think, and people like that. But most of us come to it when it's all gone wrong, and that's a sad state of affairs. But it's true.
Well, I'm a scientist. I mean, I would tell, where's the science? Show me the papers, prospective, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, and I suffered for years, and then I only learned from my patients who were getting pregnant on paleo diet. I had tried Atkins, and I did the stuff Zane did, and I was in my early 50s, and I looked great. I figured when they had me in the coffin, they're going to say, "Wow, he looks so good." But when my best friend Dave Kilmer died of cancer at 52, a healthy guy, I was like, "What the f?" And between my patients and Dave and my other friend Jim Slotnick, who died at age 28 of glioblastoma, I look back and realize that, okay, we can't predict who and why. But when I went paleo, keto, and then finally carnivore, it was just like, wow. But the science says differently. And I'm in the science business, by the way. And it's sort of, and I'm kind of a tall tree they like to blow wind at. And I hope I'm going to continue just to sway back and forth and not break. But eventually I will, as I, in some way. But yeah, it's the stories, that we're really sharing. And I think your why is, and my arthritis, psoriasis, migraines, kidney stones, bowel bleeding, anxiety, depression, worthlessness, is gone. And I see too many people suffering, doctors, alcohol, drugs, and they're suffering from the standard story, which I would like. This is the answer.
Yeah. Can I just tell the latest story from Lainey? She's a carnivore, as I think we all know. She has a breast cancer, very nasty breast cancer, but she's been having quite a few problems recently with dermatitis. She's done the intelligent thing. She's experimented, and she's now supplementing with collagen. And do you know what? That dermatitis has healed up, and her skin is absolutely glowing. And she's also discovered that if she switches out, she likes milk. If she switches out lactose milk for lactose-free milk, the same effect. So she has taken control of her own ship. She is a captain of her own ship. She's experimented. She's taken the risk, and she's receiving the benefits for it. So collagen. So she's worked on collagen, taken the collagen, and now the dermatitis is clearing up, and her skin is smooth and glowing again. And she could be giving up because she's got cancer, but she's not. She's fighting, and she's living the best life that she possibly can. Lainey's in the chat, by the way, so she is listening to this. There we go.
And don't forget two more really big personalities in the chat. You have Jonathan Carnivore Muscle, and then you have DC. And you talk about a cancer survivor. He's like, in my opinion, one of the top survivors. I think a lot of times I get grief because I've never had any of those health issues, and people get mad at me. Well, Rick, you don't know anything. You've never had arthritis and depression and heart disease and all that. I go, well, okay, but maybe that's a good thing.
That's when you should say, duh.
I love that, Mitch. Awesome.
Yeah. Wonder why that is. Wonder why I never had all those. Could it be I've been a carnivore all my life?
Well, we're born lions, but we're fed like sheep, and we become sheep, and
or
so
ducks.
we become ducks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, this is the simplicity of what we're doing. A community of conversations. We do our meetups around the world, and whether you're there virtually or in person, this is the beauty of what we're doing. And Lainey, like all of us, is suffering from basically plant poisoning. It's just and low fat plant and protein poisoning, low fat diet diseases, and we're still, we haven't quite left the world, the standard world, but that's okay. We're all part of that. But it's an amazing thing that we're storing. Lainey, do you want to chime in and give us a few of your thoughts on all of this craziness?
Well, the plants.
Talk about
Okay.
sugar. Talk about sugar and cancer.
Sugar. sugar feeds cancer, and I keep telling everybody that, but nobody listens. And I go out for a meal with my friends, and they're like, "Oh, have this and have that." I'm like, "No, I'm not dying. I'm staying here. I'm not feeding this cancer." So yeah, I eat a lot of meat, loads and loads of meat actually. I was keto, but now I'm not even keto anymore. I'm carnivore.
And
So
tell Dr. Kiltz about what's happened with collagen, about what
my beautiful skin.
and your dermatitis.
Dermatitis gone, literally gone. Yeah, it's just changed everything in 4 weeks. It has completely changed my skin in 4 weeks.
Do you want to tell Dr. Kiltz what your favorite go-to meal is? What you have as your main go-to meal?
Roast beef and duck eggs.
You know, and isn't that such a simple thing to do, is to focus on some simple foods? Would you agree?
Yeah.
We're all here. I'm just playing a little bit. You know, I play a little bit in this, and the standard world that we live in wants to give us a diagnosis, and then we live it. And I'm just curious where mindset and faith and spirituality have come in your healing journey.
Mindset was awful for obviously the first couple of years of the diagnosis. It absolutely trashed me in every way, shape, or form. But in the last year, I've just said, no, I'm not. I'm not.
I would actually say even more than that. I would say the last few weeks. The
last few weeks, it has changed really, really drastically. But in the last year, I sort of started thinking, no, I must start doing things and going out with my friends, because I locked myself away completely.
You had the mindset really that you were the victim here, wasn't it? But now you've taken responsibility.
Now I've gone to hell with it. Yeah. This is my life, and if I go in the next few years, I go, but I'm going to live it to the dream in the time.
We're
going to live till we die, and none of us know when and how we're supposed to die.
Right, but also tell Dr. Kiltz where you're going in September. Where
Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo.
I'm going to Kalamazoo. I am going.
All right. Well, I'm not scheduled for Kalamazoo yet, but I guess I'll have to be there. I don't know if I am. I don't know anything about tomorrow. I just, Alia just is okay. Here's your list. But if you're going to be there, I'll be there too.
I'm going to Kalamazoo.
One thing I can definitely say to Dr. Kiltz, you are booked into my local hotel for 3 nights in June, so you will be meeting Lainey then. So
okay, that's good. That's good. That's good.
And I'm here to tend the fire, as he's abandoned me.
We love you, lady. Thank you. We miss you too. And again, we're sharing stories. Thomas is here to share his story for a minute for those listening. And what's your thoughts on the new? It's not a pyramid. It's
sort of upside down. So yeah.
Right.
It's a triangle. Give it that.
A triangle. Yes.
No, I mean, I think it's good, but I think that it's still going to take a while before people get the message. I don't think it's going to right away be like, oh my God, this is it. I mean, we've been corrupted for so long that I don't think it's going to be like a, just wipe the slate clean. Wipe the plate clean.
Are you frustrated by this stuff, or does that frustration lead to inspiration and creativity and sharing more than anything?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to put out more. I definitely want to get the stories in and stuff like that, because I mean, I agree with you. I think the stories is what's really telling. I don't think it's the research and stuff like that as much as it is everybody's individual improvements, everybody's individual achievements, including like all of us here on the, in the panel, well, 5 of us in the panel, I'm sorry, 6 if you include Lainey, and yeah, so.
Oh, by the way, this is the Fertile Fireside Chat, which talks about faith, fatty meat, fasting, and a fertile life. And it's both the fertility side and the carnivore side. And so everyone's welcome here today. And anyone can be a surrogate. It's like donating an organ, right?
Right.
We're open to all of that, and building families. I mean, that's my real job in life is how do we help build more families, and that's such an important part for all of us.
Don't forget, Dr. Kiltz, that all those F's also lead to freedom. That's an important F, which is the ultimate goal of the F's, if you like. It's one which we keep on forgetting, but basically a fertile life is faith, fat, fitness, fasting, one other F, which and ultimately that all leads to freedom. So we can add freedom to the rule of F's, I think, in this case.
Okay, I'm adding that to the F's, and I'm working on a new story of F's, by the way, and I'm gonna do the song. Maybe Barbara can help me with the song of F's. And I always say we all would like to be flattered. We all like to be fed steak and eggs every day, and we all love to be made love to every day.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's the simplicity of all of it, right? That's it.
Actually, Barbara has already sort of done that because she did one called Fat Fueled Freedom. So she understands fat fueled freedom. So she understands the rule of F. But yeah, so that she's halfway there already.
Right. And again, I'm the fertility doctor. I help make babies. It's really a hard job, by the way. And there's a lot of ups and downs in all of it. But I mean, this is really what we're doing here. And through this conversation, we're helping create healthier lives, more reproductive lives, and more ducks in life. I gotta move Mitch so I can see his cap. Somehow Mitch's cap is hidden. And what does your cap say on there, Mitch? Because I can't read it.
That's just an old model airplane from the Joe Knoll fly-in every year up in South Carolina. But it's a denim cap, and I like it. But I put it on because my bald head was blinding me looking at it in the picture there. And I figure if it's blinding you, maybe I should be more considerate about that. Rick is the only one of us, I think. Well, you don't need a cap, Kiltz, but Rick's the only one of us that
I love it.
Need it.
Well, but I love to wear that cap. So I don't know. There's something. It feels like I'm dressed when I put my cap on.
Yeah, I understand. I know what you mean.
And
I don't even have glasses either.
I cut my hair, even shorter, and because I hate, I don't want to have to think about hair. Period.
Well, then I'm lucky because I don't have to think about hair.
But have you seen how dark Mitch's hair is? It's amazing.
Yeah, I can show you.
Look at that. When
Gorgeous.
he turns around,
Gorgeous.
look at how much younger he looks.
Yeah. Oh my God, he looks beautiful there.
See?
That's the camera. That's the angle. I love it. I love it. Flattered, fed, and made love to. That's what life is about. And it's always fatty meat, steak and eggs. Right? And that's my new book coming out. Is flattered, fed, and effed. It's what our life is all about.
Right.
That's
not everyone.
That's it. Well, it is because when I say it in a way, it's all of us are sharing the way to be reproductive in life, whether it's making love, making babies, or contributing to human creativity. That's what I call it, right?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I've got another F for you, Dr. Kiltz, as well, because when the temptation is in our way, as it often is, we have to show fortitude. So we can chuck fortitude into the equation as well, I think. Faith and fortitude. Yeah, they go together. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there is a song there somewhere. There's a song in this somewhere, I think, the rule of F.
For America's most talented, we'll all be on there. I'll look forward to that. Surrogacy can be expensive, but if you can find someone to carry a baby and not get money for it, I think that's the very best way. A friend, a neighbor, a relative. That's it. The new. Oh, here we go. You want to take this one? Who wants to take this first? Right. Thoughts about the discrepancies, the new pyramid, and the literature that went with it. The literature says that only 10% of calories should come from fat. That's not.
Yeah, I'll talk about that.
That's
I'll
not
talk
consistent with
about
the picture. Yeah, picture.
Um,
There we go. Yeah.
It says 10%, no more than 10% from saturated fat. So they're not saying you can't eat other fats. And that's a carryover. That's a concession, and I think it was a political one that they don't change that. And I made a point in the video of mine that's coming out today at 12:15. Shameless plug. I made a point to say that just because we're carnivores, we don't eat only saturated fat. We eat a lot of monounsaturated fat. Pork, for example, it's got bacon has probably more unsaturated or monounsaturated fats than saturated fats. So
Iguana.
Iguana is probably pretty lean, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it has unsaturated, monounsaturated fats.
And even in beef, there's polyunsaturated fats in beef as well. So we're getting a wide variety of fats. But the limitations on the text on the dietary guidelines was only as it pertaining to saturated fats, because that's the one most people think causes heart attacks, and they're wrong. The other thing in the text that I noticed of the guidelines that really had me chuckling was that they removed the limit on alcohol. They took away the no more than 2 drinks a day. Now, why the hell did they do that? Anybody know?
It's all about consensus. And consensus came together and let's bring everyone together. And ultimately, the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology recommends red wine for pregnant and lactating women.
I love it.
And so, we're sitting down with all industries, and it kind of was a consensus conference. How can we all get along? And that's the craziness. But ultimately, and this is the problem with saturated, unsaturated, mono, and poly, and all this stuff. It's scientism. And most people still eat lean meat. I don't care what you buy. Most people eat lean meat. Their food, all the fat's already been chopped off. And even the intramuscular fat, the way it's cooked for most people, it's gone. And most bacon is crispy. And so that means you've already melted away the real animal fat that is healthy for us. So I think we're still, we're speaking from the wrong end. Birth rates to go up, so more alcohol.
Well, that was a thing I saw on the news this morning. That was great. They were talking about the limits on alcohol on, I think it was Fox News, the morning show, the Sunday morning show. They were talking about that. Greg Gutfeld? He said, we have declining fertility rates in this country. Maybe that's good advice. Maybe we ought to get a little loopy, he said, and lower the inhibitions and, make more babies. Maybe that'd be a good thing. And I don't know. Maybe he's got
fixed economy.
Experts exploit the exploitable, and compromise. And that's why the lion's way is really narrow. And being narrow is the real important trick here. That when I went narrow to sticking with bacon, eggs, butter, beef, Kiltz's ice cream, salt, one meal a day, in general, I feel better in life. and I never eat a French fry or a martini or a cigar.
Well, where'd the echo come from?
Maybe Thomas was maybe.
I don't know.
Seemed good. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen
Sometimes
it.
if it's listening out loud, and that's why the headsets help a little bit with that.
That's why the three of us on the right are with the program when it comes to broadcast audio here. Rick's pretty good. Rick never has an echo.
Let me
I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm
No,
using
I know.
Stay
old
right
technology.
there. You stay right there, Thomas. You're
It's
good.
fine. No big deal.
And Norfolk's going to open full IVF probably March 1st is my guesstimate. We're feeling better on carnivore. Enough for the masses. They don't want the masses are domesticated, and the training we go through. Rick, how did you manage? I mean, I'm sure you were getting standard domesticated education growing up. What threw you out, right?
It was a frustration. My dad was very much into health foods. He believed that he could live into his 90s and be healthy. He actually died at 82. All these vegetable juices, and we had the health stores. And you remember in the 70s, there was this whole big thing with health food. And then in school, my grades were not that good. I would listen in class. They told me to sit up straight, but I always felt bad. You know, my side would hurt. So I started leaning back. And then as time went on, it seemed like the more things I did that were wrong, the better the results I got. The more that I studied, the lower my grades were. But when I sort of just looked at the world in a different way, everything changed. What really made me change is that it just seemed to me like the system was designed to elevate certain people and just hold everybody else down. And I started to see how they're packing people in apartments and townhouses and all that. It made me think of like a farm where you stuff all the chickens in the barn and you close the doors, you throw them a bunch of seed, and that's it. And they're content until one day they end up being turned into, well, you know what happens to the chickens. Either that or they can lay eggs. So, and it seemed like in the 80s and even in the 90s, everything just kind of got crappier and crappier, and all the stuff I liked wasn't made anymore. So I just rebelled. I said, you know what? I'm going to go back to a time I didn't even exist. I went for a 1950s look. I was eating what's now known as a carnivore diet. I call it the heart attack diet. And then I started growing taller. And I think that was like when my grade point average went from a C to an A, and I became the tallest kid in high school. That told me right there, Rick, whether or not you're going to die of a heart attack, you're going to enjoy your life more than you would have if you would have followed the standard advice.
And the standard advice seems to be bringing us down, and this craziness and teaching our children's children, because in 100 years and 10,000 years, they'll be listening to the Group of Five, the Sunday Five.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it was Dr. Kiltz. It was Einstein who said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. So what is the establishment doing now? It is basically preaching the same thing over and over and over again, and we are just getting more and more unhealthy. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out that something is rotten in paradise. You know, it really doesn't.
I am healthy and well. I am a lioness or a lion, and that is my guide.
Yeah.
And that's to me the most powerful thing. Any last minute words from each of you? We'll start with Thomas.
No, not really. I mean, I'm just going to keep on going the way I'm going, and right now I'm doing the lion diet, so I'm actually feeling pretty well, you know, and my sugars are a lot better now, and so just going to keep on the track, just keep on trucking, so to speak. So,
yeah. Rick.
Well, the more that I see, the more examples I see of people improving, and the more that I've gone through my life, I've come to the conclusion that I need to tell everybody about my experiences and refer other people's experiences and let them decide. If they want to be eating duck food and waddling around, that's their choice. But no one can say that I didn't give them an alternative.
and plenty of people live a long time, but so many people are on drugs and doctors and dissections. George.
Yeah, keep the faith. Have faith in what we are doing. Trust the process. Eat the fat. When temptation comes, deny it with fortitude. And by doing this, you will find yourself in mental and physical freedom. You will shake off the chains of being a slave to the lies that we've been told all these years. The rule of F's, follow them, and you'll find freedom.
And Mitch, last message of the day.
Well, I don't have a message for everybody per se or advice. I just want to comment that it's been almost a year. In February of last year, 2 eventful things happened to me. Number one, I visited with Kiltz and a meetup in Tampa around the middle of the month of February. I was honored to be a speaker at the event, and I had a great time. And 2 weeks later, I had a stroke. And it changed the course of my life. And it's been an uphill battle. I'm recovering, but not fully recovered. You can still hear it in my speech sometimes. But in 1 month, less than a month, I'm going back to visit with Kiltz and be at another meetup. And that is going to be a monumental joy to me. And I can't wait for it. And those of you that I'm going to see there, I can't wait to meet you. I know Gary No Slow is going to be there. Both of the Seeleys, Mike Seeley Sr. and Jr. are going to be at your barbecue, Kiltz. So, and I'm looking forward to smoking a cigar with you and sitting around and talking about how great life is.
And I'm working to see if I can expand it to 100 because, just bringing our brothers and sisters together and getting a chance to meet and greet and share to me is like the most important thing. And you just keep on going and keep these conversations going. There's so many, you could find Rick and Mitch and Thomas and George out there sharing their stories. Remind me the cat name? Milton. All right, Milton. And cats, that they live a life. I don't know. Sometimes maybe better than dogs. They don't get put on a leash. No leashes for the cats.
No, they're in charge. They're in charge.
Yeah, quick one, Dr. Kiltz. Milton has his own song from Barbara called Milton the Carnivore Cat. Go on her website, check out her playlist, you'll find it, and it's very good. I love it. I really do.
Yeah,
Milton's singing a different tune these days, though, since the other day. He's singing in a higher voice these days.
He sings with a higher pitch. That's
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, again, thank you everyone for stopping in. We're gonna be here tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Time USA. Tomorrow night for the KMT meetup, and just appreciate everyone stopping in for today. So. I'm going back to the pottery studio and make and cultivate pot.
There you go.
All right, you guys. Thank you for
right.
stopping in, showing up. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.
My
See you.
pleasure.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye all. Thanks. You guys are blessed. Thank you for